Okay, so I have a couple of these Sundolphin kayaks, and I did a little work to them, and I tried to take some pictures and share with some friends, but I don't think you could quite see what I did with the pictures. So someone said I should make a little video, so I'm going to try and do that. This is what the kayak looks like originally. This is pretty much standard how it comes. I got these at Kmart for like 150 bucks. They're like the cheapest kayaks that I found. The only thing it didn't come with was these little holders right here for the paddle, and I added them. They were like 10 bucks or something, and that was a good little investment. This is what it looks like. The only other thing I found is differences I made is everything I put in a kayak I try to tie down so I don't lose it. And this one, you know, I take this and I put it through my gear, hook it on my gear, and then rehook it back. And I did this one in the front, and I found this one kind of gets in the way a little bit, but it also reaches further to the front. And this one, I stuck it on the side, and it doesn't get in the way as much, but I definitely need to put a longer string on because the stuff doesn't tuck all the way up in there as well. The other thing I found is this little compartment, which it does say on it is not 100% waterproof. The cap gets to be a real pain in the butt. Sometimes they just don't want to go on there. They're really annoying. They really get stuck sometimes, and you got to really force it to get it to go. I'll show you what I did with that in a minute. This is what I did with mine. My other one. I'm getting ready to do this to the second one. But first, I got a couple of these little rod holder things. I don't remember what I paid for them. Got them at Walmart. But I put one here on each side, so I can put a pole or two poles and a pole and a net or whatever. And this whole back compartment is completely inaccessible. This little hole right here, it's only a little shallow, compartment. You can fit your cell phone in there maybe. That's about it. But there's no way to get in there, and it's a big open area that's totally inaccessible, and it's a big storage area. So I did what this one is, and you can see the paint's coming off. It's about a year old now, so I need to repaint that. But I cut out this large hole here, and I had a bunch of these old buckets laying around, and I just took these buckets and I took one of them and I cut the bottom part of it off, as you can see here, and I bent it over in one spot and put a little rivet, and the same thing on the other side. I put a little rivet, and I put a thick bead of caulk all the way around it. Okay, so now, and then on the inside I put a bunch of spray foam in there, and I tried to make it so that water wouldn't pass and stuff couldn't fall from here to go up through on the side where you can see it goes through here. And the only styrofoam in this whole thing is on each side. There's a little L-shaped piece of styrofoam, if you can see it real well, and that's the only thing you've got in there. So I thought that adding a little spray foam, a little extra styrofoam in there could help it. If I tipped it or whatever and it wanted to try to sink, it would help make it float a little bit. But this compartment now allows me access to store everything in this back area. And I took another bucket and I painted it, and I have two options. One, I can just put a lid on there like that, and pretty much I go with the kayak just like that, and I got all that storage in there. Or I can use this cooler for like a second device where I can still put stuff in there, and this cooler sits right down on top. Sits it up a little bit higher, but now I have two compartments, and one of them that's totally waterproof, because this underneath portion is not waterproof. Even with that spray foam, the water will still seep through there. I tried one time just dumping some ice straight in the bottom, and I thought maybe I could throw fish right on top of the ice and stuff, but I found that as the plastic is not insulated, sitting in the water, that ice melted really fast, and it continued to flow up through the rest of the kayak, and made my butt really cold. Anyways, this was a great little cooler idea. I have another little cooler that I usually just stuff down in there. It's actually an insulated cooler. I just stuff it down in the front. But also, this little piece that was taken off in the back up there, my plan for this, and you can see I left a little lip when I cut it out, is I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to cut out a hole here and insert that down inside that, and then screw it in. And this way, I've got another compartment in the front, and that I believe should be small enough that I can still fit my legs past it easily, and should still be able to slide gear past it to stuff up into the front nose. And I was also thinking about taking this, which came off the back, and I was going to relocate this up here in the front, something like that, maybe some other hooks back here so I could strap stuff on top, or even on top of that when I've got that in place. So I just wanted to make a quick video and show that before I modified the second one, and you couldn't see how it looked before. Oh yeah, one other thing I did find with this Dolphin is about a year now, on the seat, these little metal holders that adjust the seat have totally rusted out and broken off. Did that on both sides on this one. The other one's rusted, but they haven't broken off yet, but that one didn't get quite as much use. So I'm going to modify that today too. I was thinking about redoing some kind of a new clamp or something, but I think I'm going to drill this off, leave a hole, and just put a string and tie a string onto it, because that way it won't rust and it'll be easy to, maybe some 550 cord or something, that way it won't rust and it won't, it'll be easy to replace if I need to replace it again. So that's my plan with that. And that's about it. And I hope you liked my little video. Thank you. Just to finish up my video here, I haven't quite gotten all the way done, but I wanted to record this before I lost my light here. This is mostly done. I've got the bucket just about in there. I've got to put my rivets through for my two spots that hold it, and I got to put in the rod holder still, but it's coming along, it's getting there. But what I did want to show you is what I finished up on this. Speaking of, I think instead of repainting this, I'm just going to work on getting all that paint off and leave it white. I don't think that looks all that bad being white, so I'm just going to leave it that way. But anyways, up here in the front, I did finish getting this installed up into the front. I think it came out pretty good. I put these on up here. I think I'm going to put some other hooks back over this way, or maybe right here, to hook these on there like that. Just put them there for now. I thought about taking these two off the back and using them, but I think I'll get some new ones because I may still use those with a bungee around this. So, but you can see down the side, I don't know if you can see that. This doesn't take up too much room. There's still quite a bit of clearance there to stuff underneath it. I think it came out good. And I added one other little thing here on the side. If you can see this string. Got this video, or this idea from another video on YouTube. And it basically works on a concept like an old-fashioned clothesline. But you can hook your anchor to this, and depending on which way the current's going, I can either put my anchor in the front if I want to be drifting backwards and casting up current, or I can put it this way and I can put my anchor into the back if I want to be facing down current and I'm casting that way. So just depending on where I'm fishing or direction I want my line to be going, which way I want to be facing, it's just a simple adjustment for my anchor. And I got that idea offline. I thought it was pretty simple. It was a good idea, and so I just put in a couple little eyelets there and a couple screws and good to go. And I did fix those. It's not pretty, but it's functional. And also, I didn't tell you, when I put these in, I put a little bungee just to hook over the reel. That's to keep them from falling out. And I was going to talk about how this gets really hard sometimes. And what I did was, one, I found I had this little weight, because a lot of times you go to close it, the string would get up on here, and you go to put it on, and that would kind of bunch in there. So with that little bit of weight, It always makes sure it falls down in there nicely. And I added a thin layer of petroleum jelly along here and underneath these little lips right here. And just add a little bit of grease helps make it so that they snap on there a little bit better and they come off without a fight, because they used to get stuck really bad. You go to take them off and you really have to fight with it to get to go, but now they seem to come off pretty good, so we'll see how that works. And that's it. Thanks.